Hey guys, welcome back. It's good to see you.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, we actually have a special day. We're recording on Thursday to be posted on Friday. We have a special day today.
What is today? What's the date today? December the 3rd?
And it is the 180th birthday of St. Matthew's.
Hey!
Wow, and this is crazy. So the church birthday is December 3rd?
Today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I think this is, what is, today's the 3rd?
Mm-hmm.
So do the math. That would be what? 1840. December 3rd, 1840.
Mm-hmm.
That's long. That's a long time ago.
That was
80 years.
when we came together and formed up as a congregation. So then the question is, maybe our boys and girls might want to know, have we been here on this spot at King and Vanderhorst Street for 180 years?
No.
It's a great question, Pastor. Daniel says no.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Answer is no.
Actually haven't. Mm-hmm.
We haven't.
No.
That church is the actual nave, the nave, not the education building, but the nave was actually dedicated on Maundy Thursday, 1872. So that building, the nave, the church, the sanctuary, is 148. Or was 148 this year. Next year, 149 next year.
And I believe the first location for St. Matthew's is where St. Johannes Lutheran Church is now, correct? I believe.
I know it was there before. Whether it was the first, we'll have to ask archivists here, our archival people, if that was the original. I know that previously we were at the St. Johannes site over on Hazel Street. Yeah, which is still a very active congregation.
Yeah.
Our friends at St. Johannes. Hello, if you're watching St. Johannes, folks.
Yeah. So, and by the way, while we mention our archives folks, we are going to put a little disclaimer here that we don't intentionally get any little facts wrong, but should we get any facts wrong, archivists, you can drop your corrections in the comments below. So let us know. And then our second question about St. Matthew's. So at one point, most people just commonly know us as St. Matthew's Lutheran Church today. But if you look at some other mentions of the church, it mentions St. Matthew's German Evangelical Lutheran Church. There's an emphasis on German. We get into Oktoberfest around here, which is a German holiday. So what's the big deal about German?
There's different ways we can answer that, Pastor Rebecca. I'll start this way, and then we'll see where it goes. So St. John's Lutheran Church is the mother church of all the local churches. So that came first in 100 years before us. Excuse me. And so at some point, the folks who were worshiping there and others wanted to establish a church for German immigrants. It was sort of the blue-collar church, the church that wasn't as fancy schmancy as maybe they were at St. John's. And so they wanted it to have, and also maybe more faithful to the German tradition, a service that could be conducted in the German language. So St. Matthew's was established in that for that reason, to be specifically a church for the German immigrants who were coming over to the country. And in the mid-19th century, there was an influx of Germans. We have to remember that the Lutheran tradition in America is we are a church of immigrants. We're a European church. We're a church of German Lutherans. They're also the Sadbanes, the Danish Lutherans, the Norwegian Lutherans, the Swedish Lutherans. I served a congregation in Connecticut, and that church was a Swedish congregation. And they had Swedish traditions and rituals that they would incorporate in. In the Midwest, we have more Norwegian Lutherans, but we here, mainly on the East Coast, are for the most part more rooted in the German tradition.
Third question. This is a question that we've been asking kind of all year long with everybody, and kind of hits a little more personal for us. So what does St. Matthew's mean to you?
I don't know. St. Matthew's, I don't really know how to sum it up in words, honestly. And I struggled with the article. I think for me, St. Matthew's is obviously a place of where I found a deep sense of call. It's also, a huge community that is, always looking out for each other. As I come up on it's like 4 years, 3 years now, 4 years, I don't know.
3 years.
2017, yeah. So tomorrow, December 4th, marks like the first time I came to St. Matthew's as a staff member. And so it's been a fantastic experience.
I think in a similar vein to Daniel, for me, St. Matthew's has been the place where I was first called as a pastor. This is where I received my first call. And yesterday marked 2 years since St. Matthew's took the vote to call me as associate pastor. That happened at the annual meeting 2 years ago. So for me, it is that place where I've been able to live out my call to be a pastor. And I remember when I was first coming to St. Matthew's to interview, and I had first seen just like the building, it seemed really intimidating to me. But it was the building without all the people inside. And then it was when I started meeting people in the congregation, starting with Pastor Eric and then the call committee and then the council and then getting to do the meet and greet. It was when I started meeting the people in the congregation that this sense of call became much more real and made much more sense to me. And over that time, I've just felt more at home amongst the congregation and really found and seen what I was called to and why.
As Daniel said earlier, we and Pastor too, we've written, but parishioners have written all year in 2020 about what St. Matthew's means to me. And the staff in the December-January issue, which people will receive this weekend, and the new digital copy on Sunday, we pondered that question as well. What does St. Matthew's mean to me? And it was like Daniel, it was not an easy little question to answer, because we don't want to say all of the positive. You want to also talk about the difficulties as well, because that's the true story. I think about today is the 180th birthday. Not all the history is great at the church, and that's okay, because you got to remember the bad in order to really appreciate the good, because that's who we are. That's our history. So I think that's an important part to remember. Anytime you have any kind of organization this old, you're going to have ups and downs, and you got to take them both, because if you just take the ups, then we don't learn from the downs. When you are pastor or staff in a church, it's a different kind of job, different kind of vocation. It's more difficult to have a lot of friends outside, because you're sort of the job is sort of all encompassing. So the group becomes very close, and the parishioners become very close and like a family. So I would say, for me, St. Matthew's is home. Is home. Yeah.
So awesome. Great birthday celebration for St. Matthew's. Join us next week. Next week is going to be a special episode. We are going to be filming the episode at 9 p.m. on Thursday evening. And if you tune into YouTube at that point, we'll be live. And the reason why we're doing this is because we're going to have a special King Street Kids Q&A where we are interviewing a guest from Japan. So, yeah. So we are going to be interviewing the Reverend Dr. Sarah Henlicky Wilson, who serves as the pastor of the English-speaking congregation at Tokyo Lutheran Church. And we support her and her husband, Dr. Andrew Wilson, and their work in Japan. We have a partnership with them here at St. Matthew's. And so we wanted to take time to tune in and touch base and ask some questions. So if you have questions about what's it like to be a missionary, have questions about Japan, send us your questions, and we would be glad to share them in next week's King Street Kids Q&A. So,
that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I look forward to that. Watch for the link next week. The link, or actually the notification if you're a YouTube channel subscriber. Yeah, it'll be fun.
So
thank you. Happy birthday, St. Matthews.
happy birthday, St. Matthews.
Happy birthday, St. Matthews.
All right.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.